Hey, what's up, world? Here live on our platform on a culture conversation. I'm your host, Twin GQ. Here on episode 7, we got a featured guest. One of our, dear supporters, Toronto Entrepreneur, founder and CEO of Rozaay Management, and founder and executive director of the athlete tech group, Randy Osei. What's up, dog?
That's how we get started.
Yes, sir. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's a Thursday night in Toronto. Life is all right, man. Taking things one day at a time, not trying to rush the process, and trying to enjoy it all at the same time. So I'm good.
For sure, man. First of all, thank you for joining us here. Yeah, man. So before we tap into our conversation, I just wanted to kind of check in with you, man. So how has COVID been treating you?
COVID has been a lot of things. COVID has been disrespectful. COVID has pissed me off. COVID has shown me myself, shown me my own ass. COVID has shown me, people's true character. COVID has shown me how strong I am and the people around me and, the people I look up to. And COVID's done a lot. It's put a lot of things into perspective. And perspective has been here since March 11th. Right, that was the day, and since then, every day you don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring.
Yeah.
So how do you move, right? Like how do you plan an event? How do you bring people together? How do you celebrate your birthday? Your birthday's coming up. Like I don't want to do too much. Maybe I'll do something at the house.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do something on Airbnb,
Yeah.
or I'll go get an Airbnb. And it's been tough. It's been tough. But like I think the biggest thing for me, it's allowed me to tap into my my inner strength and find some things in me that I didn't know that was there. I really had no idea that was there, man. Because bro, 2020 was supposed to be a crazy year.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
I was like, oh man, I'm about to be 30. Like I wanted to bring Fabulous to Toronto for my birthday. That's what I was telling people. I'm like, yo, I'm bringing Fabulous to Toronto. Like, I'll figure it out.
For sure, absolutely.
And I just played his music on Apple Music on my birthday, and that was good enough. So.
Yeah, and it's crazy because going off of that point you said about perspective, I feel like it gives everybody that that widened lens. Like, you might look at it as an opportunity to kind of complain about your situation, but also you can look at it as an opportunity to expand, your horizons. Being an entrepreneur like yourself, I'm sure you've been able to kind of, find ways to kind of like, take advantage of, not being able to, be in rooms or to host events and stuff like that. Like you talked about, you being able to work from home has been the best situation for you. So just kind of tap in and explain that.
Oh man, you said a lot there. I think in the sense that COVID's been great for Randy's personal development. My own health journey, and I have a hip condition that I was born with called hip FAI, and essentially my hip doesn't clock all the way in, right? So because it doesn't clock all the way in, I've hurt this knee pretty badly. I've broken this foot twice. So I have to, I found out when I was like 21, 22. And they said, Randy, if you don't you have two options. You can do surgery and shave it down, or you can work the muscles around it and get it stronger. So I said, okay, we could do that. I think I don't want to do surgery. I don't want to miss the season. So I just strengthened everything. But they said, if you don't take care of it, by the time you turn 30, you're going to need a hip replacement.
Damn.
So this was like 8 years ago. So I've always known this, right?
Okay.
Or 9 years ago. So, when I was home, like because of COVID, I was like, okay, let me get this shit together.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm normally a early riser. And I get up at 5, 6. But at 5, 6, I'm running to the gym, trying to get home for 7:30, shower, get in the car by 8, and get to the office for 9 to get to work. Now I'm getting up at 5, 6. I can go for a walk. I can go for a walk.
Yeah.
I can go for a walk. I could do some work. I could work out. I could read. Sometimes I just go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And still do all of those things and still get to work. So from that angle, that's been amazing for me, in terms of taking care of my physical health and my mental health, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like you knocked some key points that I was kind of gonna turn to. So we're gonna get into your story. I know starting in 2013, you opened up Rozaay Management and
15. I was 15.
15.
Yeah. 2013 is when Anthony got drafted.
Oh, okay, sorry. So that kicked off your career. That's what I was gonna say, as just being his manager, and having an opportunity to get introduced to the sports market. So talk to me a little bit about that, your introduction into the sports world, and the combination of Rozaay Management.
First and foremost, I gotta give a huge shout out to Anthony Bennett, my brother. Big shout out to you for the opportunity to figure it out, because we both went into the NBA and neither of us knew what was happening. We didn't know we had no idea what was going on, and we learned as we grew. And I just wanted to give you a big shout out. I know you're still working and doing this thing, so big shout out to Anthony. But yeah, that time in my life was a huge transition. You go from working at Durham College basketball gym, helping people check into the gym, to flying on a private jet in like 4 months.
Jeez.
And you're trying to like stay grounded, but like every time you got to go catch a flight, or like you life is just going, and it's just moving so fast, from calls to emails to events to meetings to dinners to, it was a lot. It was a whole lot. And at 22 going on 23, when I got into that world, it was important for me to continue to do what I was good at. Although I didn't know what was going on, I just did what I was good at, which was continue to just build relationships. And that's what I did. So, I'd go to anything that sounded good and legal, I would go to. And, whether I was in Cleveland, Memphis, Minnesota, Milwaukee, New York, wherever I was, I think the biggest thing for me was to just find ways to build relationships. So, I did that, and through building those relationships, through, trying to stay honest, trying to stay humble, trying to stay grounded, trying to stay kind, trying to stay all of these things that people think you aren't. I had to go through that. And, there's times where I lost myself. Like at one point I weighed 215 pounds. Like I'm 5'10" and 3/4. What the hell do I have no business being that heavy, you know? But it was a lot. And, I dedicated myself to my craft. And that was building relationships, going into rooms and creating opportunities. So I've done that. And, through all those relationships and opportunities, and being able to, launch Rozaay Management at a time when I had no idea what I was doing. I tell everyone right now, 5 years ago when I started Rozaay Management, if I went into the business, knowledge, information, tactics, strategies, concepts, ask me if there's a Rozaay Ask me if there's a Rozaay Management business plan. Ask me if I have one.
You got a business plan, bro?
No. I didn't have time for that, right? Because to me, it was just go. There was no one to say, hey, how do I do X? I would meet people along the way. Mm-hmm. You know, people would definitely give me a helping hand, show me what they knew, introduce me to people. Then, you know, there's always this talk about mentors. Like, oh, like, yeah, no. You know, I'm looking for someone to mentor me. A lot of mentors play like gatekeepers.
Absolutely.
Right?
Especially
yo, when you get there, hit me. I got you.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to the club,
Yeah.
you hit E-Bone, you're like, E-Bone, I'm coming.
Yo, get me in.
No, E-Bone's like, yo, when you get there, hit me. I got you. Okay, get there. Yo, E-Bone, I'm outside. Okay. I'm sending so-and-so to the door. They said so-and-so to the door. They can't even get there.
Yeah.
Right? So, shout out to E-Bone at the same time. But it's one of those things where it's hard, bro. It's so hard. It's so hard. I'm not going to lie. Entrepreneurship is hard. It's fuck. Like, it's so hard. It's so hard.
I feel you on that, bro.
Especially, you know, when you wear every hat for your business, you're the head of finance. So you got to make sure the money you have is the money that lasts. You got to make sure that the money you have takes care of your personal life. You got to make sure the money you have allows you to travel and go make new relationships. You got to make sure the money you have can pay for lunch for those relationships you're trying to build. You got to make sure you have money to pay Tristan Forbes his high rate so he can come and shoot something for you. Like, and that's just the head of finance of your own company, right? Then you have the head of marketing. How are you making friends? How are you building relationships? How are you getting new clients? How are you making money? How are you generating revenue? That's the $1 million question.
Yeah.
You go on Shark Tank, Dragon's Den, any of those shows, you watch those shows. Oh, the business idea is great. Okay, how much money are you making? What are your sales? In how many months? What's your valuation? This doesn't make sense. No one cares for things that look cool. You know, we gotta do things with substance. And, you know, my journey has been a very strenuous one, but I don't think I'd have it any other way. But I did wish that, you know, someone would come and pull me and be like, Randy, this is how you run a business. You have this relationship here, this relationship here, this relationship here, this opportunity here, this opportunity here. You need to create a system for this to work. How do you create this system? We want to create the Do Your Part celebrity game. That was an idea from years ago. But I couldn't create the system to build it. You know, my best friend was like, yo, Randy, all the work that you do, you got to go mess with your municipality. Go sit on the board? Sit on what board? He's like, go sit on the board of the Brampton Sports Hall of Fame. Nah, they'll never let me sit on that. Like, I didn't win no awards. It's like, no, it's not about the awards. It's about what you've done in sports. Okay, let's go apply. We get it. We need to figure out a way to raise money. Let's go. We're already doing things, you know, to have a social impact. Let's go start a nonprofit. Let's go build Return to Love community support. These are the instruments that drive these vehicles to help you make money. So all of those things, all of these systems and things that I've built, it's almost like playing basketball to me, right? But I'm not on the court. I'm like Masai. And that sounds so wrong.
But like you're the guy behind the scenes.
Yeah, but Masai sounded like Messiah, but no. Masai, where you're building the system, right? You're building, you know, this person's going to take care of this, right? I'm going to raise the money. I'm going to bring this in. We're going to run this operation, and we're going to build these results. That's what business is. It's building systems. And for the first 3 or 4 years as an entrepreneur, I had no system. And that was 2014 to 2018. 2013 to 2014, 15, I was just working with Anthony.
Yeah.
And, you know, just connecting with my guys. and building relationships. But I wasn't like trying to make money. I was just out hanging out. I was one of the guys.
Just in the scene.
2014, 2015, things start to change, and I'm starting to look at what's happening around me. I'm like, people are building systems. People are building entities that they own. People are building assets that they can sell in various ways, right? So being able to look at the world that I'm in from a different view and understanding that I didn't have any systems around me. Then Akeem came home from law school, my best friend. Big, tall guy, funny, so funny. But he comes home from law school, and he comes home, and the way he looks at the world is just different. Like, Akeem's a smart guy, like a very smart guy. Like, he went to, Turner Fenton has an IP program or something like that he was in. Like, he's a very, very smart and meticulous man. And when he came home and he's talking about organization and legal relationships and systems, he's like, Randy, this is you. And these are all the things that you affect. What are you talking about? No, look, this is you, and these are all the touch points that you have. You do something here, and it feels ripples and waves over here. I'm like, what do you mean? No, this is, Randy, look at me. This is me, and this is my wave. I was like, oh. So what are you saying? He's like, you got to build system. And in 2017, I think it was, Akeem comes and says, yo, let's build out Atlas 365. I said, okay. So we dropped some money, started that company, and off we went into the unknown, but we're driven by passion and opportunity, right? A lot of people talk about, oh, you should do things that you're passionate about. Yes, you should. 150,000% you should. But if there's no opportunity to turn that passion into more, you still got to live, right? Yeah. You still got to have something to your name. So we built, and just, watching him go through that process and signing up for incubators and accelerator programs and learning, like picking up on things and going to this program, traveling to meet this person, building this relationship, watching him build his system is helped me tremendously in building mine, because no longer is it me looking for help. I'm seeing it happen in front of me. I'm a part of it. I'm in some of these meetings. We're going in and meeting with very rich people to have very rich conversations. And those conversations are held in a certain way. I don't talk like that. I still, hey, man, what's good? You're blessed. Like, yeah. I'm still at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you come in these rooms, and as much as I hate to, be one to change who I am, it's just not accepted. Like, you can't do that. It's very tough. But like I said, there was no one there to say, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. This is what you should do. This is how you should move. So yeah, throughout my whole entrepreneurial journey and still going and growing, it's been this growth mindset of understanding the assets that I can build around me that I can own, right? So what can I own? Can I own a real estate company right now? Probably not. Can I own the spaces that I'm not in? Probably not. Can I own, esports or nah? I have to be around the things that I'm around. and find ways to build a system to bring those things together. And I think that's what we've seen with the athlete technology group. It's somewhat of an accumulation of the last 7 years, where there's obviously athletes involved. That's been a big piece to my journey. There's definitely social impact, and touching on the community. There's definitely creating content. We were just talking about how I've always just wanted to create stuff to share.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So like even when I reenacted the NBA, going through the NBA draft stuff.
Yeah, that was funny.
That's just me making fun of my friends. That's literally it. Like, I'm watching these guys that I know, and I've been through this process, right?
Oh, because you was in the green room.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was a funny guy. I've been through this process, but now like the process is funny to me. And I like to poke fun at things. I don't think the process is funny. I think the process is taken very seriously, as it should.
Yeah.
But I wanted it to make it fun.
Fun, yeah, absolutely.
Right? So it's crazy because the amount of people that thought it was real, a good like 50 people thought it was real. Yeah. Like that whole content piece. The athlete tech group's also, inspiring economic development. It's inspiring storytelling. It's inspiring media and events and collaborations, and like we've been running these tech entrepreneurship workshops. We worked with Big Bro Twee and the Mississauga Tigers.
Yeah,
we had a class with like 50 of his players.
Wow, that's what's up.
Virtually, and just teaching them tech, making it relevant, making it something that they think about when they think about, when I'm done with this baseball bat, I might pick up a coding app or something like that, because tech is relevant to you. You understand tech, you understand the world, right?
Absolutely. And even tech, right? Like we look at the tech space now as it continues to evolve, even in the sports world. The tech industry being an industry that is going to help shape our future. What does that statement mean to you?
I think tech was always gonna shape our future. I think we still have the opportunity to shape our future, but with tech, right? When it comes to sports and tech, I think, we were seeing it with the growth of Whoop, the growth of social media, which is tech, the growth of wearable tech. Like, you see people wearing these headbands and these chest monitors and all of these things. Everyone wants to just get better and optimize and get access and find that one level up. So for one, in terms of playing and sports, I think tech will continue to be there and always be there. Everyone's going to try to find a competitive advantage. There's a couple of companies that we work with at Athlete Tech Group. Plantiga, which is a wearable tech company that goes in your shoe, and their focus is to the return to play process. So you tore your ACL, and part of your recovery is going through all of these tests and movements and strength training, and there becomes a point where I can look at you and you look good, right? Yeah, because we call it the eye test.
Yeah.
But you're not, because it's not fully healed. Plantiga jumps in there to speed up that whole process because it's collected by the data that goes into your shoe. So they have a huge opportunity, I think, to become the shoe version of Whoop. So what Whoop started here and understanding here and your breath and so on and so forth, Plantiga is just starting on how you move. Now, it's a little expensive for the everyday consumer, but they could get there, right? You just raise more money, put some more money in R&D.
Yeah.
and scale the technology. That's what technology is. It's just scaling stuff. For the most part, it's just giving more people access, and growing bigger and bigger and faster. So I think Plantiga has the opportunity to go beyond sports. I mean, they're already working with some NBA teams. They're working with a couple of NFL teams.
Wow.
The University of Washington, and we're really in there to see if we can help them grow. They're a Canadian company, right?
So that's dope.
So yeah, we work predominantly with Canadian companies.
Okay, that's what's
So
up.
it's really infiltrating the athletes with the Canadian tech, through our media, through business opportunities, through education, through events, like continuously bringing those two things together. And why I look at that and think that's a formula of potential success, there's a couple of reasons. One, in and around COVID, we've looked at entrepreneurship, and it's been democratized, right? So there's a new version of entrepreneurs. So the Randy Osei, Friday to Sunday night, downtown Toronto, hosting this or hosting that, can't be.
Yeah.
Now, am I going to host virtual events? Could be a thing. Am I going to do the drive-in thing? Could be a thing, right? That's democratizing entrepreneurship. So now there's new problems, so we got to create new solutions.
Yep.
So as we see that, there's going to be a continuous growth around entrepreneurship. We're going to see people that are at home, that are working a corporate job, but because they're at home and don't have to travel as much, are working on a side business because they've built a little community of 20 friends that they just work out with. And the next thing you know, they start a gym, a virtual gym. They're the person that leads 15 people. Like, what we're going to see now is these media marketplaces, right? These online communities. So like, think Facebook group, but on multiple devices and platforms. Like that's the world we're going into. So we're not going to be able to connect at King and Bathurst or, Rogers Center or
ACC.
Scotiabank Arena, sir. They paid $20 million for that.
Still ACC to me.
Oh, wait, 200 million, 200.
Yeah.
It's a Scotiabank Arena, sir. Because we can't connect in those places, tech's going to enable us to connect in all these other places. So bringing the world of tech and entrepreneurship together is great. I've also read in a lot of places that those are the two industries that are going to kind of help economies restart, in a sense, right? So, if you're a startup right now, with tech, I like to use this analogy when we look at like a big company and a tech startup. A big company driving down the highway, going down the road is big, fast, carries a lot, goes. What happens if there's a big pothole? They've got to slow down. They got to tell everyone up at the front, hey, we got to slow down. Something's coming up. We got to slow down, get everyone, and slowly move the car over. But if you're a Prius, you're a tech startup with 5 employees, you don't have to go through, you don't have to go to talk to legal and then talk to marketing and then talk to sales and then you don't have to do all that. There's 5 of us. Okay, guys, so do you think we should make this change to our company? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, great. Guys, we're turning the whole company, right? So if you're a startup, if you're an entrepreneur during this time, there's things that these big corporate wigs, they can't do. They have too many approval processes or too many people they got to get a yes from or a signature off of for them to change a picture on a website. Like it takes them a long time. So the entrepreneurship space, the startup space, the opportunity to grow and bob and weave these potholes to create these businesses is a huge opportunity right now. So you bring in tech entrepreneurship together, you bring in athletes as well that help a lot of Canadian startups. They say Canadian startups can't scale. Like we either get bought up too early or not enough funding. Like VC capital people don't really raise money here. Like they go raise money elsewhere. When they do well, then they come back, then they raise. I think, infusion of athletes into the tech community obviously brings dollars.
More spending power.
More spending power. It also brings branding and marketing opportunities. It also brings partnerships. There's a company called Dapper Labs in Vancouver. They're a blockchain company, and they have Spencer Dinwiddie as an investor and a brand ambassador, and a couple other NBA players. A guy like Trufan and Swish. He's had 3 or 4 NBA guys invest into his company. And, he has another guy that sits on his board. So, like, these guys are slowly making the moves to get ready because they're all building amazing platforms that work, and they have great clients, and they do great work. But in Canada, sometimes it's a little hard to grow. Like, look at Drake. Drake was a thing here, but did Drake become a star in Canada?
No, he had to go south of the border.
He left and he came back. It's like, all right, guys, I'm home. Built his house.
Yeah.
Partnership with the Raptors. I'm here. But he didn't grow here, right? And we're trying to change that narrative a little bit, because we have talent here, we have support here. It's just people don't want to collaborate enough.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback off that point, I feel like a little bit of the numbers game does come into play because in America you got 330 plus million people, and out here we have like 32, 33 million. So the numbers game does play to account, but also that process of like people not wanting to come together and collaborate. The competition thing we always talk about. A lot of people that are in the same spaces find each other as competition instead of building people up. So obviously I think guys like you as well as myself, we have an opportunity to kind of rewrite those narratives. And I feel like ownership, collaboration, building systems that's owned by the culture are things and, the ways that we kind of have to go. So we're going to tap into, the future of tech or, more pertaining to your company. So in the next 5 years, where do you see the athlete tech group going to? And where can you infuse it in, the emerging industries, whether it's gaming, e-gaming, the industry of music, VR, as well as blockchain and digital currency?
That's a very tough question to answer. So I'll do my best to answer it. I think it's a couple of things. It's a social enterprise, a social innovation company that blends tech and entrepreneurship for the greater good, in a sense. What that looks like exactly, only time will tell. But I think, if we're able to foster and facilitate some introductions, some relationships, some partnerships, execute some projects, outside of Canada, within Canada, and bringing people together, I think we could really do some things to stand out in the marketplace when it comes to tech and innovation and athlete integration and entrepreneurship and building a community that's continuously building a community. I talk a lot about media marketplaces, and that's a form of technology. It's growing audiences and selling of different assets, right? So now we're looking at like digital assets. Are we looking at virtual events that you could sell? Are we looking at content that you could create and you could sell? Are we looking at knowledge that you can create and you could sell? I think the media marketplace is going to be a crowded one, and I think we're just carving out one that is unique, right? There's a little bit of everything for everyone. I want Twin to jump on. I want your brother to jump on. I want your sister to jump on and find something for her. So just making sure that we stay true to the vision of creating, equal opportunity, whether it be in the athlete world. Because I look at it like guys like KD, like we were talking about the Young CEO Conference and how sick that was. This guy brought the commissioner and Naomi Osaka and
Steve Nash.
He brought his coach. What?
Yeah.
You see Kyle Lowry bringing Nick Nurse to an event?
Never.
Not that it's something negative, but there's athletes that have power, right? So we look at the NBA, like 96% of the league is not 96. Sorry, let me do my math. I want to say like 46% of the league is making a lot of money. I want to say over $10 million, but I don't want to say it because I'm not 100% sure. But I think it's like 40 to 50%. What about the other guys? Not everyone can afford a Rich Kleiman, or Rich Paul, a Maverick Carter, a Jay-Z. Not everyone can afford, some of these resources that, thank you for building them, because then you see things like LeBron and Obama a couple days before the election, them dropping a video together. Of course you're going to see that. But not everyone can be LeBron. I can't go and just buy my own Spring Hill Studios if I'm OG Anunoby. Like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Right? But what I can do is, because I have a name and a brand that I've built through my craft, and because people like my craft, which is basketball, how do I leverage my name to build relationships with people so we can build it together? Because that's one of the key things that we're looking at with the Athlete Tech Group is not everything has to be money. You've built a digital asset and a huge Instagram following. A post from Luka Doncic. How much you think is worth right now?
Probably about 70 to 80 grand.
70 to 80. I would probably say
Close to 100 for sure.
Okay, let's say it's 100 grand.
Okay.
If I'm a startup and I'm working on a sick app and I don't have 70 to 80 grand, but Luka, I'll give you some equity into this company if you help us grow using your name and likeness. That's a relationship you can build, right? So it's creating equal opportunity for a lot of athletes, because COVID hit everybody. Like, as much as us regular folk felt it, it hit everybody. Definitely hit more people worse than it did others. But then, there's athletes that I know that were living paycheck to paycheck. They had built this lifestyle on knowing that another check was coming every 2 to 3 weeks. And then the checks stopped coming. What the hell? Yo, let me call my agent. Yo, what happened? Yeah, they canceled the season, man. They canceled the season. Well, it's postponed. So you just keep working out. I'm gonna give you a call when I get an update. That update never came.
Yeah.
But what you did see was athletes were now trying to be more. Like, I saw a lot of guys came out with vlogs.
Vlogs, podcasts.
A lot of guys came out with podcasts. A lot of guys were not all of a sudden. I know a lot of guys that play video games, but everyone was gaming and streaming. Like, you guys never did this before, right? And because it was not something that was done before, it almost oversaturated the market because everyone was doing it. So now your product, your demand, and your supply takes a hit.
Yeah, overcompensating.
So now I'm like looking at all this and I'm like, holy crap, everyone's feeling this pinch. Right now, COVID's a pinch. It's a pinch. It's one of those, and it hurts. What happens if COVID's here for 2 years? That pinch might turn into some to a cut, right? There's a lot of things going on, and people are having to adapt to new circumstances. And if you're not trying to adapt right now, I worry. If you know how to make money one way, and you're going to be wrong and strong and make money that one way, and not create things that you can own, I hope it doesn't get to that point. But like that unknown feeling, if you're not feeling that right now, I don't know. If you're not striving to, Athlete Tech Group is only being built because the world is shut down and I'm just at home. If not, I mean, all my energy and focus would just be in Rozaay, because I can continue to do the things that I'm doing. Yeah. Building things on the side, making this relationship here, making this here, and I'm going through the process. I can't do those things. We were supposed to have an Athlete Tech Summit this year. I called Kobe Bryant's people last year.
Yeah, I seen that behind the scenes, bro.
He passed. Even that was a lot. That was a whole lot, man, and it still is. Simply because for what he stood for, he was an extraordinary man. People say extraordinary. Like, nah, you have to slow down when you talk about Kobe. That guy, sure. Extraordinary man. So, he's a great testament that you can focus your life on one thing for a long time and then change. Right? Like, I can't do this anymore. And he left on his own terms. He's like, all right, I'm gonna go focus on my family and build books and build things that they can be a part of. Kobe was gonna change the WNBA. With the growth of the WNBA as it was growing already, absolutely, he was gonna amplify that, right? He was gonna change the storybook world. Like, if Kobe was alive right now, we'd definitely be watching something on Disney, a show or something that he put out right now, 100%. And I'd be tapped in. I don't even watch cartoons.
Yeah, he's an incredible storyteller, actually.
So, yeah, man, this year's been a year of a lot. So, I don't even remember what we were talking about, bro.
I
just went somewhere.
Nah, it's cool. We were just talking about like the future of the tech world, as well as the ATG, the vision for that within the next 2 to 5 years. But just to kind of echo what you were saying about just having that conscious mind about where things are going in the next 2 to 3 years, planning on COVID. It's about taking things that are tangible. We always talk about being an entrepreneur, and you as well. I always see that you can pick up what you're doing and go to another city. So I think that's the new reality. We talk about entering the content space and being able to have a podcast that you can shoot on Tuesday and have it put out in another city because you have that that platform or the opportunity to do so. So for entrepreneurs, I just think like taking things that are tangible with you and things that you can kind of take away and make money is the direction we kind of have to go.
We got to focus there because I think I talked about it earlier, passion and opportunity. For entrepreneurs, I think one of the big things that we see is everyone has a great idea, but turning it into a business. And a business means at the end of the month, you can say you made more money than you lost. That's it. If you can't answer that general question, then it's still an idea, right? So just to echo onto your point is if you're going to use this time to start a business, if you're going to launch a business, do your homework. Do your homework. Understand your market. Understand, your product market fit. Understand who your customer would be. Understand what your brand voice is. Understand, there's so much to understand. Understand how you need to put together a balance sheet, and understand your cost of goods sold, and how much does it cost you to acquire a customer. What's your digital marketing strategy? Are you SEO, or you need to understand, even if you don't use it, you still need to understand what it is, because there's going to be times when you need to activate those things. Period. We're in a digital world. This
Absolutely.
Digital transformation that was coming in 5 to 10 years came in 8 months. Damn, we're fast. Think about that. Think about how fast the world adapted to COVID.
Yeah.
Our economies went all the way this way. That means people were making money. Think about that, twin.
Yeah.
As bad as it is, we still got lights. We still got heat. We can still go outside. But there's parts of the world that can't. There's parts of the world that don't have. But we're in a pandemic. So we need to build on these tangible businesses, I think was my final point there. Because if you don't, then I don't ever like to tell people they waste time. But I don't think you're being productive with your time.
Absolutely. So we're gonna turn to quick hitters. So we just do a little rapid fire game now. So I'm gonna go with what's your top 5 movies of all time, bro?
Oh wow. Hitch. Hitch is an amazing movie. That's how I learned how to talk to girls. Hitch was a good one. Love and Basketball. You gotta throw that one in there. 300.
Okay, Sparta.
Yeah. No, you gotta say it properly.
Okay, 300.
No. Sorry.
300.
Oh, okay. Training Day. Definitely put Training Day in there. Batman.
Which one? The Return of the Dark Knight? That one?
No.
Oh, the first one.
The one where Joker burned off his face. That one.
Oh, okay. That was the first one, though, I think.
I don't know, so many.
Okay. So
there's 9 Spider-Mans, right?
Okay. Damn. Okay, so you're not really a classic man. I was thinking
You said 5. I had to give you 5.
All right. So we'll move on to your.
You gotta go Menace to Society,
Yeah,
Juice.
yeah.
You gotta touch all of
Hood
those.
classics. Okay, so we're gonna turn to your all-time NBA lineup. So if you're a GM and you have 5 spots to fill, who are the 5 players that you're gonna pick
That are currently playing?
of all time, bro?
All time.
Yeah.
Can I put myself?
Oh, for sure.
Nah, you guys aren't ready for that. I would probably. All right, at center, I have to go with Shaq.
Okay.
Shaq just growing up as a kid, I'm like, this guy's not real. Power forward. Honestly, you can't put Tim Duncan down there because he's slow. You gotta think Kevin Garnett, maybe. Actually, let's. Man, this is tough. Kevin Durant.
KD at your 4. Okay.
I'll put KD up there when he's healthy. Okay. At the 3, oh man. Man, you would put LeBron, MJ, and Kobe.
Oh. All right. Thought you were gonna put AI in there still.
No, I can't. He used to get bullied though.
Yeah. Okay. And then you're obviously, I know before you spoke about not really having that OG or that mentor figure. So I put you're one of your most influential figures or inspirations in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you say that was?
Just one?
Well, if you have.
Oh, there's a couple. My mom and my dad, they're always wanting to. Tyler Perry.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a creative mind. Um, Tyler Perry. I like Leonardo DiCaprio. He's got a certain swag to him.
Okay, he's tough.
Yeah, he did
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, man, he killed that.
Fire.
Leonardo. Will Smith. Until the Facebook thing, that was kind of crazy. I felt for him that day. People that build like these mass empires in multiple entities. I can't think of anybody right now off the top of my head. But like the Forbes family.
Okay.
You know, stuff like that. Like you create systems
Yeah.
and then systems within those systems. Like I love watching, I know this is completely off topic, but like the mobster movies of all these organizations and systems,
Bro.
and how money was just going to this
But that-
guy
that's-
and
that's
this.
what I'm
I'm
saying.
like,
All my favorite
holy
movies are
smokes.
like Casino, Goodfellas.
Casino's a great movie.
Just because like you said, the
Donnie Brasco.
Yeah, like the organization, how they had different, multiple like brand divisions
New
of
Jack
different.
City. Oh,
Exactly.
man.
Yeah.
Some good ass movies, bro.
Yeah, that's
Good
what's
ass
up.
movies.
Okay, so we're gonna finish off on the last thing I like to do here is like, what is one message you would give to your younger self?
You know those ones where you always have that thing that you tell yourself, like, oh, when I get asked that question, I'm going to say it. I can't remember it now. But the one thing that I would tell my younger self, I think, is Randy, do your homework. And the reason I say that is because, as I got into this business, I didn't do my homework. I did what I was told. I went with the flow. I listened. Not that all those things are bad, but I didn't do my homework, right? I didn't take the time to read and understand how some of these deals get made and how players get involved with companies and how partnerships happen and what's a deck. The first time someone asked me what that was, I said, what? I had to go and learn and build these things, like I didn't do my homework. And I was talking about this the other day. I think it stemmed from when I was younger, because all through high school, I didn't do my homework. I never did my homework. I was always doing too much. I've always had a job. Like since I was 12 or whatever, I used to do the newspapers and work at Tim Hortons and McDonald's and get the agency job and clean offices and like working at a car auction. Like I've always had a job. So I never made enough time to focus on one thing. And I've seen that over the last 18 years, that I have a very distracted mind. Like it's very distracted. And over the last 2 years, I'm learning how to funnel it in and channel that focus. So because I'm channeling that focus and I'm like, okay, I need to get this done. How do I get this done? What are the steps I need to take? What are the systems I need to build to get to where I need to get to? I need to understand how we get from point A to point B to point C to D, E, F, G, H, all the way to we get to Z. Yeah. How do I get there? And if I can't see the roadmap, is that a piece of the road that I want to go down? Right? So because I didn't do my homework, I'm still, like, the crazy thing is I didn't do my homework, but I'm still here,
Yeah,
that's why I smile, and I'm grateful for the ups and the downs, because it's part of the process.
Absolutely.
Kobe talks about it. It's part of the process, right? So I'm just trying to enjoy the process and ensuring that I'm doing my homework and everyone else around me is doing their homework. Like, don't come and talk to me unless you've done your homework. Like, get to a point where you're like stuck, and then let's have a conversation. What are you looking for? Like, let's build out a mind map for you and understand how to get to your own system, right? And I don't say that in a mean way, but you can't lead a horse to water. Like, that's the most common saying. People want to do things but don't want to do the work. People say I'm this, people say I'm that, but don't want to do the work. Don't want to tag themselves to this or that. Like, oh, it's gonna make me go down another road. But we have to do the work. You have to understand what that is before you enter it. You can't just become a real estate agent. You have to go to school, get your license, do this, do that, and then you become it. It's the same thing as an entrepreneur. You don't just, I have a great idea, let's start a business. Go do your work. Go and understand it before you get started. You'll save money, you'll save time, you'll get to profit a lot quicker. Bro, I've probably been working at a loss from 2013 to 18, but always just had money. Always just had money. I always knew how to just make money. I never had any crazy wants, anything like that. I've been on one vacation in my life.
Jeez, damn.
Because I've only wanted to go on. And I got forced to go. I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be at home. So do your work.
Absolutely. Well, you heard it from the man himself, the myth, the man, the legend, Rozaay. You know, like I said, now we're checking out on episode 7 here on A Culture Conversation. But before we tap out, we would like to, you know, send that message out that you guys tap into our contest giveaway. We'll be announcing the winner next week, Thursday at 6 p.m. on our episode. Here, checking out. It's your host, Twin GQ, with Randy Rozaay. Peace.